Hey, what's really happening, y'all? This is your 80s music lover, and today we're going to go ahead and show you guys what you're seeing right here, and that is the 80s music lovers collection on Lips Inc. And Lips Inc. is one of the 80s music lovers' favorite early 80s groups to the mid 80s. We're going to start off and talk about a little bit about each album. First, let's start off with the Lips Inc. debut, which was called Mouth to Mouth. The radio hits on this album were the entire album. There are only 4 songs, believe it or not, on this album. And this album was released in 1979. So they were doing stuff like that back then. You know, just crazy stuff like releasing, it's like it would be an EP, shorter than an EP for today in 2014. But 4 long songs, and every song is at least over 5 minutes long. Some of these songs on here I think are 7 to 8 minutes. Don't quote me if I'm wrong, but lengthy album, but only 4 songs. 2 songs on side A and 2 songs on side B, and the whole album was played on the radio. Okay, the song list titles on this album, Mouth to Mouth was side A, Funky Town, which was the #1 hit, All Night Dancing, and then on side B, Rocket and Power. So this was a good start for Lip Sync. Okay, so and Cynthia Johnson, she sister, has some strong vocals on her. She lent her vocals to this album, and everyone fell in love with Cynthia Johnson's voice. I know I love her voice. She's the lead vocalist and the only vocal lead on this album, with maybe a few background help, something like that, but mainly it's her voice. Then the producer the guy that produced the album and did all the music was Steven Greenberg. He's the man behind Lip Sync. Okay, so let's move on. That was a great start, great album for them back in 1979. Here, their sophomore release, Pucker Up by Lip Sync. Their radio hits were How Long, Always Looking, The Gossip Song, and I believe that was it. There were a total of 6 songs on this album. I believe 2 on side A and 4 on side B. This album was released in 1980, so the next year they did a follow-up. Cynthia Johnson returned to lend her vocals to be the lead vocalist on here, and she did a superb job once again. Steven Greenberg was the man behind the music and also the producer for the second time around on this Lip Sync album, Pucker Up, on their sophomore album. Okay, so let's move on. Whoa, got some glare there. We got Designer Music. Let's turn that down. Alright, we got Designer Music, y'all. This is the 80s music lovers' favorite album out of all Lip Sync's albums by far. I love this album to death. This is an awesome album. This album was released in 1981, and this is Lip Sync's Designer Music album. There's a total of 8 songs. I really would say 7, because there was a song on there, it's the 3rd track. Let me see. The 3rd track, The One, and then it's called The One After. But to me, they're the same song, but they have them listed as separate songs. So as far as the listing is concerned, these were 2 songs. Now, it just continues on. The song, it's like 6-7 minute total song, almost 8 minutes long. It's like 7 minutes, I think, for both tracks together, maybe 8. But one continual running between both, like the 3rd song and the 4th song. So, you know, it's hard to say if it's 8 songs on here or 7, but anyway, I like that song. Nice music at the end, the last 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes, instrumental music playing, funking it up and everything at the end. Really nice. And Cynthia Johnson, who you see right there on the front, she lends her vocals and returns once again for the third time. And Steven Greenberg, the man behind the music once again, and the producer of Designer Music. If I didn't mention before, this was released in 1981. The radio hits were Designer Music, Everybody Knows, I Need Some Cash, which is one of the 80s music lovers' favorites, and Background Singer. But you ask me, this whole album is just bomb from beginning to end. I love it. Alright, let's move on to the last official album known that Lips Inc.'s group released, and that was this big number 4. And it is the 4th album, so they called it 4. Yeah, how ironic, right? Okay, the radio hits off of this, and there's some interesting thing about when this album happened and what happened with this album compared to they had made some changes when this album was released. Some changes. So the radio hits were this Funk 108. Addicted to the Night, On to You, Choir Practice, and then Get Back to the Floor. Okay, this album was released in 1983. There's a total of 8 songs, and this time it's really 8 different songs, not 2 split up into, 1 split up into 2, but actually 8 different songs. Alright? Steven Greenberg produced this album as well. So he produced all Lip Sync's music, all their albums. He's the man behind the Lip Sync's group, the project. I guess he says who's going to be in it, who's not, how they play, how they sing. He's the man. So he did the music and he produced this whole album. Did a wonderful job on all of these albums. And here on number 4, these are the changes they made. No longer did Cynthia Johnson, where she didn't come back for this one. She didn't lend her vocals in this one. Don't know what happened, if it was her decision or if it was Steven Greenberg's to say, he didn't want her to be on this album. It surely wasn't because she was lack of talent. But maybe Cynthia wanted to venture off and do something else. Maybe she was tired of the doing this. Not saying she was tired of Lip Sync. She wanted to be recognized as her own solo artist. So that's what most of people that have talent do. So whatever it was, she wasn't on this project at all. Instead, they had to replace her. And Cynthia, she's so bad. This chick right here's vocal so bad. They couldn't just replace her with one female vocalist. They had to get 2. Okay? 2 of them. And one of them is they could have just done with her. Extreme talent. And the female vocalists who sang and lent their vocals on here are first Margaret Cox, which is aka known as Tamara from Tamara and the Sing, Jesse Johnson's group, his girl he discovered. And that blew me away when I heard that she was working back then. Like I said, this album was released in 1983. We know her from Tamara, that was released in 85 along with Jesse Johnson's Revue album. So this was to me a blown. When I got this album, I did not know that she had sung on another album as a lead vocalist. I was very impressed by that. Not surprised, because Margaret Cox has a bad voice. A white girl with so much soul, she could bury I don't know what. She can bury some serious funk in the dirt with her vocals. She puts it down. The other chick, her name, she has a very pretty voice, very strong voice. Her name is Melanie Rosales, and she's type 2. I like her vocals too. And she lent them. So they both kind of got 4 songs each, to make 8. So they shared it. Very good album. Very funky album. Very Lips Inc. album. Even though Cynthia's not in it, they did a very good job filling in for her. It sounds like a Lips Inc. album. You really don't miss her. So that's that. That's the main thing on those albums there. And then you have the other album which is not a full album but singles, and that's this one here. It's lip sync singles, and these songs are Hit the Deck, and the other song is Does Anybody Know Me. Hit the Deck is on the B side, the flip side of this album you see in here. And I believe the chicks that are on these, which is Margaret Cox, aka Tamara from Tamara the Scene, and then Melanie Rosales, I believe they both have a song each on here, or if not, then it's Margaret Cox sings both of these songs on this 12-inch with just 2 songs. So that does it for my Lip Sync collection and sort of album reviews. So I hope you guys enjoyed this and have fun hearing it and learn something that maybe you didn't know, that the 80s music lover brought to you and filled you in on, and I have fun bringing this to you. You guys take care, peace, love, 80s music and soul. Bye. Gone, Cynthia. Gone, Cynthia.